Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jaylee, this JayLeesCorner. As y'all see, this is a very late video for Black Ink Crew, and that shows y'all how much I really don't even care about reviewing these shows because it's just not what it used to be. So I'm going to quickly do these two shows for Black Ink Crew and also for the Compton Black Ink as well. And then I might just add in growing up hip hop and make it one little video for all three and then leave that be. Okay, now y'all know I was just live for over 2 hours for a whole little gossip chat, foolish chat video. So make sure to go on my channel and look at those. Okay. But yeah, this may be all three. This may be Black Ink Crew, and also growing up hip hop. And then I can just go ahead and watch Love at the Lockup and then come back to y'all for that review in like a couple hours too. But thank y'all for tuning in to this live and also for the replay watchers. Thank y'all as well. So yeah, I'm like, honey, I am tired. Hey. You're allowed to get avid. Yes, honey, a whole 2 hours. Like, Lord Jesus, a whole 2 hours. Did not even know I was going on for that long, but y'all gave the whole time. Okay. They both argue, but I do like Compton better than New York. I do agree with that because Compton does give a bit more storyline, basically. I feel like New York is just I don't know what New York is doing. I don't know what they're doing, what they're giving. It's giving aggravating for me. But I feel like they're gonna just keep putting that show on forever and ever. I am working hard today. And I watched because first of all, I got home yesterday, fell asleep at like 7 p.m. Okay, I woke up at like it was damn near midnight, like 11:30. And so I was woke from like 11:30 p.m. last night until around 8 or 9 this morning. So I was watching these shows last night in my bed, taking notes from my phone. So I can kind of have these lives today. But yeah, it's been a crazy day. But hey, let's get into Black Ink Crew. I'm gonna start with I think Compton. Okay, what Compton is Compton what I have up first? Yes. So Black Ink Crew Compton, we have these folks right here who are the people, who are the cast of the show and whatnot. And yeah, boom, pow. I'm not even gonna y'all know, because I was just here for 2 hours. Y'all know I look like hey. And plus this thing was going in and out. So I'm like, I'm gonna pop off because I even had to deal with that. Oh wait, those are New York notes. Where is Compton notes? Here's Compton notes. So we see it's day one of who gonna work in the shop for KP shop. The weird part is KP shop not even open, okay? But he trying to figure out who gonna be there, when it does open, next. Let's see. I hate Tim. He likes to confront the people, then get mad when they snap back. Honey, New York played out at this point. To recycle storylines. I agree. It is on some BS. So we're gonna have to see about that and what's gonna happen. Now at the shop, we do see the lead artist Chris, who photo I don't have. Ink dripping Polo, who was the new apprentice, who was so cute. I don't have his photo either because I didn't pull up photos. Voodoo and Nessie all come. The only one who was missing was, of course, Barbie, who he basically fired, and then also Alana, who wasn't there. Alana wasn't on here the whole episode. We're gonna see what's happening with that. But anyway, they get there, they want to be there, they want to be on the team or whatnot. So cool. Now KP and Tim then talk privately with Nessie. Nessie has an issue. What's weird to me? Nessie asked to speak to KP privately, then KP then told Tim to come too. Now Star was saying how because she's a manager, she don't know why they did not have her come either. Because they don't respect women. They may put you in a position to be on the show and have you there, but KP and especially Tim does not respect the women. Okay, I want to let that be known. Now with KP, Tim, and Nessie are having a conversation. She's like, "Look, you know what I'm saying, y'all talk to me as if y'all don't like me or whatever. And while I want to be here, I am very much so big on respect and being respected, and y'all be on some bullshit." Now KP said, "How well for me? I felt like." You came in here, whatever. You came to the shop with an attitude as if you were better than everybody else. I'm like, that was how long ago? That was at least 2 years ago. KP is really in his feelings. He's really emotional. I'm like, sir, get out of your feelings ASAP, because if not, it's gonna be some bullshit going on. Because the fact that you said when you came in as a newbie and feeling as if you better than everybody else and it rubbed him the wrong way, I was like, boy, fuck you. Okay. Now, I like her, like, look, if I'm proud of myself, I'm going to say that, and that should not offend anybody. How are you offended that someone feels like they are a great tattoo artist? I never get how people want people to feel like they're not great or whatever. And if that's your problem, you should not own a tattoo shop. But again, she was right in saying if I'm proud of myself, I should be able to say that, and no one should be offended by me saying that. Okay, it's like it's stupid. KP and Tim were cheating hella hard day one. It seemed too much. Okay. Now KP then brings up how it was also about them not having many conversations about stuff. That the issues that they were having only come up when people was angry and it was friction. Which I can agree with him on that. If he was saying, well, we never had a conversation about the issues when we was fussing and fighting, it would come up then. So that was also an issue for everybody. But I'm like, no, you and Tim is mean, rude, and indifferent. Okay. You and Tim is some hateful assholes because y'all do not like the women to feel on the same playing field as y'all, and it shows. Okay, now when again she brings up how she wants to be respected, and even though the number one rule that y'all have now would say no respect, 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 it's not given. Okay, I may give it to y'all, but y'all don't give it to me. And Tim said, "We get you want more respect. Okay, so we're gonna do that or whatever. We all want to be a family." Tim, I don't like you. Tim, you cause problems. Tim, you get on my goddamn nerves. Okay. Now we then see Nessie who meets up with Barbie and Danielle. Danielle is Lemir's either fiance, I think. I don't think they're married yet, or whatever. And she's pregnant and whatnot. They're like baby shopping or whatever. Maybe it wasn't baby shopping. I don't know. Anyway, Danielle brings up how if Nessie knew, because again, Nessie is now working back at KP's shop, or will be. So Danielle say if Nessie had known, or that if she finds out that Lemire was going to be open up his own shop, she know that she would leave KP's shop. I'm like, the fact that she don't know, and the fact that no one's told her yet, I wouldn't leave KP's shop because y'all doing things and not including me in the first place. So I was like, leave me be. KP could have kept that. We a family bullshit. They a family if they like you. Barbie brings up how I ain't working with KP anymore. I'm not working the shop anymore because again, he fired me, and I was shocked that he would not talk to me considering how long we've been friends. I feel two separate ways about that. With Barbie, I think one, because they've been friends for so long, KP should have came and had a conversation with her because again, they've been friends for years. So I do think he could have talked to her as a friend. However, on the other side of things, I think as far as professional, she's a receptionist. And if they felt like, well, you not really bringing nothing to the table as a receptionist or whatever, so because we're not seeing eye to eye right now, I don't need you here. But I still feel like KP owed her a conversation, outside of the group because again, they are friends. So I still feel like KP got your feelings, on some bullshit. But I'm like, no one, should be upset that the person who answered the phone, they don't ring, don't work no more. Now, when they discussed Danielle having a gender reveal party, Nessie's ex-boyfriend, who was like Lemire's best friend, will also be there. So Nessie is clearly not over the breakup emotionally. She's just not. She's still, emotional about it or whatever. And she brings up how the dude, Kev, I think his name was Kevin, really hurt her because one day, she was everything, and the next day she just wasn't. Like she was nothing. So he dogged her out. Okay, ignore her, whatever. And so she still feels in some kind of way. But he's such close friends with Lemire, he gonna be at the reveal, so she's gonna have to see him or whatever. She's like, I'll see if I'm gonna come. Boom, pow, pow. Now, Voodoo storyline to me, even with the last season of this season, has really been about her being that cult, her mom and stepfather was like cult leaders or whatever, and her moving past that. So now we seeing her, Nessie, and Ink Trip were like at meditation. And Voodoo brings up how she had reached out to her bio father, who she had not seen since she hasn't seen him in person about 8 years. That she did not know her stepfather wasn't her real father. She was 10. So again, they had basically lied to her about, hey, we ain't gonna tell you he ain't your real father until later on, when she her real father came like to visit her or something, and that's when she found out that he was her real dad, but she did not have any kind of relationship with him. So, but she's like, I was told by my mom and my stepfather that my bio dad did not care about me. And so I assumed that all this time, but now I realized they had been lying to me my whole life. And I'm like, yeah, the family wasn't shit. Okay. Now I'm over Voodoo. I'm so over Voodoo. No offense to anything she's going through. I feel like Voodoo storyline just seems so one note. Last season we seen her meet with her mom. This season we see her meeting with her dad. I do wish it was more to her than just that, but I mean, who knows? So we then see her later on talking to all the artists about, meeting up with her birth father, which then makes each person bring up their daddy issues or whatever. I'm saying we have Polo, who again is the new apprentice, who says how his father wasn't there for him at all. So he can't see himself forgiving his father, how Voodoo was seemingly forgiving hers. He brings up, I was in prison for 12 years, 4 months, and 21 days, and I spent the time in prison, and that's kind of where I grew up and learned to be a man. And I'm like, damn, not in prison. He said, but I was still able to be there for my son, unlike my dad. So I'm looking like, well, that's kind of crazy. Ink Dripping brings up how his father was in his life growing up, but they have reconnected since he's older, whatever. You're now building a relationship, and sometimes that happens. And I think Ink Drip is saying how he feel like for some reason his father wasn't ready to be in his life back then, so it's kind of cool that he's around now. We've seen Chris, who's a lead artist, the older guy, who brings about he loves being a father and a grandfather. I'm like, a grandfather? So Chris is older. Okay, he's older than everybody else, which is fine. And then KP brings up how his son will be in town because his son lives in Sacramento with his mom. I don't know if that son is his son with Kyla Pratt or that's a son he has with somebody else, because I didn't know Kyla Pratt kids could be that old because the son is in high school. And I'm assuming that means him and Kyla Pratt maybe aren't together anymore, because if they live in different places, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. But his son is in high school, plays football or whatever. And, my son will be here. And like, I love having conversations with my son that I could not have with my dad when I was younger. So it's fine. We did see him and his daddy and the son talking on the football field. I didn't care. It was amazing to see 3 generations of Black men together, which is amazing. But I was like, okay, y'all telling him that y'all love him and believe in him and he can do whatever. It's great. Him seeing how he loves, they come see him play in his games. It's great. But I was like, next. Okay, I ain't really care. So we do see Voodoo meet up with her daddy. I was like, okay, fine. Again, it's always kind of one note with Voodoo. And I just didn't know that you was my father. My mom kept me away from you as far as I know. My stepfather told me that you molested me when I was younger, that you didn't want me. And he was like, wow, that's some crazy shit. Like, that's crazy. Like, that's not true at all. He brought up how her mom, when she had her mom was already dating the stepfather. He said, so I was kind of always blocked off from seeing you. They would not allow me to see you. I saw your mom maybe 3 whole times. And when I would try to come see you, they would just block it. So I just felt like eventually in life, I would reconnect with you, my daughter Daisy, and let that be that. But he do tell her that she needs to like let go of all that stuff that happened, and that she has them now. They can be a family now. He has other kids too. But we don't know if what he's saying is bullshit. We don't know nothing. Okay, all we know is she happy to have her father in her life or whatever, and they can kind of reconnect now. So we then see Danielle gender reveal that Barbie playing, and it did look nice. Barbie brought up how and they're having another girl gender reveal. But Barbie do say if things don't work out with her working at Lemire's shop, I'm like, but what is you gonna do at Lemire's shop? It's gonna be a receptionist again? I don't know. But if she can't do that, she can plan parties or whatever. She'll call it Barbie's Bashes. I'm like, that's cute. Anyway, we found out that Nessie got into a car accident on her way to the shop and she ain't coming. her ex is there, who we found out he's also a tattoo artist. I'm like, oh Lord, we need tattoo artists to be cooking up. We know sometimes it ends in disaster. Okay, we've seen it happen before. So after they announced they're having a little girl, Lemire then announced to the party that he's going to open up his own shop, and his friend Ken, who is Nessie's ex, who broke her heart, will be his partner. I'm like, oh Lord. The minute they said that Ken was a tattoo artist, I'm like, okay, he must gonna be added to the show because it was what it was. So later on, we do see Lemire and Nancy talk because Voodoo told Nessie about Ken and Lemire opened up a new shop. So she's kind of feels kind of way. Nessie feel like Lemire owes her or he should have some kind of loyalty to her because they're friends. And clearly Lemire doesn't have any loyalty to Nessie. We can tell that's simply based on the conversation or whatever. And she's like, I felt like even when me and your friend broke up, you never checked on me. You was always kind of on Ken's side or whatever. And while Lemire tried to say, like, I don't want to pick sides, I wanted to stay out of it or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But he was coming to me for advice or whatever. But I just wasn't picking sides. So I'm like, well, sure you were, because if you're talking to Ken and not to Nessie, you picked a side. Period. Okay. And when he said he never wanted them to even hook up. So if she got her heart broke, that's because she put herself in a situation. I was like, well, but your friend broke her heart. So it's weird how he's saying, I'm not picking sides. But I'm like, but you are picking sides. I'm like, whatever. And when she told him that, look, I was hurt. I felt like you weren't my friend. And she's expressing how these things made her feel. And he like, I'm just, my job is not to take care of you, it's to take care of me. And I was like, well, that's some bullshit, because like, I'm just tired of me telling people how I feel and then feeling invalidated because like they don't really care. I'm like, well, sometimes you have to get people don't care about you, and you have to be okay with that and move on and be stronger. Don't waste your time caring about those who don't care about you. And Lemire clearly feels like your well-being is not his concern, and whatever you're going through has nothing to do with him. And I was like, that is some bull of the shit. I hope Tim gave that same heat to the new manager lady after she show her ass and stuff, because we then see them at the little shop or whatever having a little luncheon. Okay, it was KP and Tim, it was Star, it was Voodoo and Nessie, and then also Ingrid, and then this other girl who is a friend of KP's and whatnot. And KP brings up how the shop now has a new business license and everything. They got renewed for that, but they're just waiting for the health inspection to be able to open. And so Tim mentions how Star has not been really involved as much as the manager as they wish that she would be. And I'm like, but how much can she manage if the shop not open? Like, what is she supposed to be doing? He brings up how she set up these little staff outings or whatever, like these little meetups and whatnot. But we need more of her. I'm like, well, what more do y'all need if the shop ain't open? What can she do? And I'm like, but I'll leave that be. So when Tim brings up how each person will be, an example of how things should be at the shop or whatever, now they're all a representation of the shop. And I was like, but sir, what would leave that be? Anyway, Barbie then says, like, yeah, I don't want nobody coming in the shop crying or whatever, because I don't want clients seeing y'all crying over whatever's going on in y'all life. And Tim being say, well, no, we family or whatever, so we can cry if something's going on, because it's about family being first. And Star disagrees. I don't believe that. I don't think family should be first. I was like, well, family can be first, but I'm looking like y'all don't treat that shop with respect anyway. So Tim then asked Star, but when are you gonna start coming to work and showing up? What? When are you gonna start showing up for work and not when the cameras are on? And I was like, honey, maybe never. And so it looked as if, or felt as if, it was a way of him saying, you only be managing and be around here when the cameras are on, and other than that, you don't be really here working. And she got pissed. And it was like, it's y'all fussing and fighting. And we see production steps in because things get heated or whatever. Because Star seemed to be pissed over Tim insinuating that she don't do no real work and she only come around when she only come around when the cameras are on. But I'm like, but Tim, what is your profession? You know what I'm saying? Because Tim feel like, she's not being professional. Like, why could she? Because she got up, was thrown off through a glass or whatever, was throwing drinks and whatnot, production stepping in. It was crazy, whatever. Now, we did see Nessie and Voodoo also bring up how it's crazy that Star be going from 0 to 100 for no real reason. But I feel like Tim said she's not being professional. But I'm like, but Tim, what is your profession? What do you do? What do you bring to the shop? It's weird. I just don't get why Tim be having all this mouth and we still don't know what the fuck Tim do. Okay? And that was the whole episode for Black Ink Crew Compton. Let's move on to New York because I want to hurry up and get through this stuff. Because again, not much happened on either show. Truth be told, okay? Donna or Sky should join the show. No. Mm-mm. To me, Star reminds me of Donna and Sky. She's definitely a firecracker person who may be hard to control, and we kind of don't know what they do. So to me, Tim and Star are the same as Ted and Sky. The damn initials even the same. Okay. Why are they even so long, honey? I don't know, but I like to just crack up some of them the whole time. So the ragtag New York cast. Okay. Kwani, who y'all know is Puma's wife, still wants to move to Atlanta. Puma don't want to move just yet because he feels, I'm saying, it ain't time yet. We have things going on here in New York, and this is crazy. So it's weird that Kwani all of a sudden wants to move to Atlanta, but she don't have nothing in Atlanta yet. You know what I'm saying? And so her thing was, well, I'm gonna look for jobs in Atlanta. I'm gonna look for a place in Atlanta because I want to be in Atlanta by the time the kids go back to school. I'm looking like, well, damn, you gonna leave without Puma? So later on, when Ted and Puma talk or whatever, and Puma brings up how he's just nervous about, doing a whole big move to Atlanta. He doesn't really want to do it because, how will things work out? Have everything here in New York. And Ted actually has some great advice saying, like, well, just try it. Just move there for like a year and then see if it works out. Because if it doesn't work out, you can always come back to New York. I think anybody is always scared of moving because moving is a big deal, okay? Especially moving to a different state that you're not from. It can just be overwhelming because you're like, because you don't know anybody there, and it's just weird or whatever. So we're gonna leave that, but we're gonna see if Puma will ever agree to move to Atlanta. Now we see Bay. Bay, honey, look. I do not want to seem insensitive. I do not want to seem as if, Bay, who wants to speak on Stop Asian Hate, is BS. But I do feel like Bay is pushing to Stop Asian Hate, and saying how much it affected her while she was doing a tattoo. So a man came and get a tattoo. His mom was one of the victims in the Atlanta spa shootings. So he's half like Asian, half black. And so Bay was doing a tattoo for him and in remembrance of his mom. And Bay whole thing is like my son is also half Asian, half she Asian or Vietnamese? I can't remember. But her son is also half black, half either Asian or Vietnamese. And so for her, Black Lives Matter and Stop Asian Hate are two things that she says is very, very important, which I agree. But it's just like Bay had like a unity walk. They, I think, walked across the Brooklyn Bridge, wearing shirts that said "Stop Asian Hate" and "Black Lives Matter." And I'm like, oh, okay. And I just feel like, is that it? So it's the weird thing of I don't know if it's that I don't believe this is Bay's plight, if this is just something that she's doing to bring awareness to it, even if she's not living that every day. So I don't know. It's weird. It's just weird. She's been trying to move to Atlanta since before Puma got his teeth, not before he got his teeth fixed. I think the New York show may be done after the season. They are running out of story to tell. It's Star was on Love and Hip Hop. Was she? Honey, I don't pay no attention. Um, Love. I mean, Black Ink Crew, New York, has not only run out of storylines. It's the people who are on the show don't even try. I think that's the weird part. Um, no one is trying. Either no one is trying to give storyline, or they're so boring. Production won't even show what they got going on. So I'm like, I don't really care. Puma does set up a tattoo battle. It was the men versus the women, and whoever loses will have to be an apprentice for the day, for the winner or whatever. And they have like they'll be doing like the consultation, the design, like the ink work and the color work. And I'm like, okay, this should be fun. So it was Crystal Bay, Vanity, and Kayla, who are two, artists from other shops. They also had people coming in from the Atlanta shops. Another girl there. And then they had Rock Spider and then some dude named Swiss, and then of course Alex. And there was another guy from the Atlanta shop. So it was weird because as the two teams was just talking or whatever, they discussed doing color on skin. And Spider mentions how, some people bring in tattoo examples of whatever that they want, but they'll bring in examples that are on a lighter skin tone and they have a darker skin tone, and how color does not always translate well on darker skin tones. And Crystal also mentions that, on darker skin, you have to use lighter pastel colors. Now, they said Rock is great with color, and then Babe brings up how I know what I'm gonna do, whatever, I'm good with color. Fine, fine, fine. So the two couples who come in, um, it was a gay couple, two women who wanted like LGBT flag colors. They wanted like a female body or whatever. They wanted, to show the galaxy. I'm like all these things they wanted. And so they had to draw the stuff out for these people. And it was weird because for me, I didn't like the fact that Spider was saying for him, he not gonna really listen to the client. You know what I'm saying? I don't go to restaurants and tell the cook how to put, I'm like, you should tell the cook how you want your food cooked, so shut up. But he felt like, I know better than the client does. So if what they want doesn't make sense to me, it's gonna be what I want, not what they want. I'm like, well, I guess that's what you want to say, but I want what I want. And there's a way to advise me that may have to look different, but you should not just ignore what I'm saying I want. And I felt like that's what he was doing. But Spider was always on bullshit. That's just Spider. And it was weird because they were then fussing about who would do what, like who gonna do the color part, who gonna do the conversation. It was just weird. It was just weird. Now Rock and Spider. Well, first of all, Alex left. He left before they even started doing tattoos. I'm like, how you gonna just leave? But again, Donna gone, he gone, so maybe he felt like I ain't gotta do nothing. We then see Spider and Rock end up doing a tattoo on the client. And it was weird because I didn't like either tattoo. I had to pull up pictures. I didn't like either tattoo that they did. Now with the women's team or whatever, the girl didn't like their design either. And so was it Vandy had to redo it, but Bay ended up leaving. Crystal said she wasn't gonna do a tattoo at all. I'm looking like, how are y'all not like? It was the weirdest thing that no one on the female team, besides maybe Vanity, felt like she had. Well, maybe Vanity and other girl felt like they were trying to really be inclusive of what the client wanted. So I was confused. So this is the tattoo that the men did. Wait, pull it up. That tattoo that the men did on the girl's shoulder. And then this is what the women did on her leg. So this girl who again had a darker skin tone, I felt like her tattoo looked horrible. Because the color she got, I don't know, it just looked horrible. I don't know why. The design on paper was cute, but I hated the outcome of it. She said she liked it, and if she liked it, I love it, and that's what it is. But I felt like it was a horrible tattoo. I do think the man's tattoo looked better. But the reason I think it looked better was because it was done on someone with a lighter skin tone. And even though this looks brighter, she was a darker skin tone. She was like Puma's complexion. You know what I'm saying? And so this just came out better. Now they like, okay, we love tattoos. They left, and they was gonna do the judging the following day. But Puma came in and said, hey, I talked to the clients or whatever, and they were upset over some things that happened on the consultation. And one girl felt like Bay made her feel like she was like Bay made her feel like she was too dark to be tattooed. And I'm like, well, Bay kind of did some things or whatever. But again, I felt like it was almost a fake episode, even though they got real tattoos on them. And so I was just over the whole mess of it all. But that was the whole episode. Now, I want to get into growing up hip hop because I just don't feel like doing third end of the video. And not much happened on growing up hip hop either. But I also don't have any graphics for it because I haven't put it up yet besides this. For the most part, I'm gonna leave this up. So it's the day after the wedding, and Sean and TT are talking about their wedding, walking on the beach. And she brings up how she did not know that her mom would read the letter from Peppa at the reception. And so that part was shocked. She does bring up how the text that Pep sent was very, very organic and she felt like it was authentic and she felt like she was being sincere. So she's open to talking to Pep, but she did wish that Pep would have sent her that message before the wedding because they could have squashed things and at least Pep could have been at her wedding or whatever. So she wants to kind of have that conversation. And I like how Sean, like, look, what you need to do is like forget about the bullshit between you, Egypt, and Sam. Like, leave it alone. Like, let Peppa handle whatever goes on with Egypt and Sam, and you just move forward without trying to rehash things between all of y'all. So it was cute to see Sean kind of remind her, stop bringing up old shit, stop wanting to rehash and go over it over and over again when y'all can just move forward and let that be. We then see Brianna is dating TT's cousin, okay, who was Pep's nephew or whatever. He didn't came to California to see her. Now he lives in Florida. He didn't flew up to see her because as he say, you have to make moves for what you want. I'm looking like I'm telling y'all, I feel like Chris wants attention. Okay, I feel like Chris just wanted to be on the show, and that is why he's here because he wanted attention for it all. And he brings about he had been sending Brianna DMs on IG, but she didn't know because again, she don't get DM people who she's not following. So again, the DMs he was sending went to the whole other folder, whatever. When she bring up how I've had issues with your aunt and your cousin, he's like, look, and she also brought up how she don't like Sam, and Chris said, well, look, I'm saying you don't have to like him or talk to him or whatever, but you have to tolerate Sam because he is with Egypt and she's my cousin and I love my family. And I also told Pep the same thing about you, that she don't have to like you or talk to you, but she has to tolerate you because I want you around too. And he then invites Brianna to Grandma's birthday party. And I'm like, so Brianna out the blue was dating Pep's nephew, again, who's TT cousin and Egypt's cousin, even though she has beef with, it's just weird. It's just, and I'm like, but is Brianna looking for someone? Who? It's like, who is the one really looking for someone? Is it Brianna? Is it Chris? Is it TT's? I don't know. But all these connecting dots is just too much for me. So we shall see. She said she might come to the party. She don't know. JoJo and Denise are at dinner, and it gets all emotional and sentimental. He tells her that he knew that he needed to start coming at her with love, okay, and stop trying to fight fire with fire because we beefing, we not good right now, whatever. And I'm just giving you what you're giving me, and that ain't gonna work, okay? That I want you to feel loved, and I know I want you to be the most confident as a wife and as a mom. And so I need to do things differently. But she then brings up how for herself, she apologizes for it because I know I have not been the best wife while going through my struggles. That being at TT's wedding helped her see how important family is and how she's really been in denial about her being depressed and having depression and probably suffering from some form of postpartum because she was not happy with herself. And so she wants to take ownership in how she knows she also did things wrong. Oh, even though he has to. And I'm like, well, at least they're both admitting their faults. Okay, fine, fine, fine. And he like, I love you. I want you to know I never, I'm never not happy with you as my wife. You know what I'm saying? And you're my life or whatever, and I believe in you and I support you no matter what. And they hugging and kissing and crying or whatever. It was real, real cute. And I'm happy they were both able to just admit their faults, still say how they love each other and want to make the marriage work or whatever. And that he said he realizes that marriage is about being selfless and not selfish. Because JoJo 100% was more to blame than Denise, for sure. And I'm happy he realized that. And I was like, man, whatever. TT, Maureen, and Pep meet up to chit in the chat. Okay. And I'm like, Lord Jesus. For the most part, Pep brings up how she wrote the note to TT because she prayed about it. And she said, God, if I dream good dreams, I'll send her, a text. If I have like a nightmare, whatever that means, don't send one. She brings up how before Maureen had sent her in Egypt a message and ended the message in Have a Nice Life. So she felt like that was a negative thing to do. And so she was upset about that. But Maureen was like, girl, bye. Look, at the end of the day, you be defending Egypt's bullshit. And that's what we can't have. Like if TT do something wrong, I check her and I won't defend her bullshit. But I only support her if it's morally right for whatever's going on. But you don't do that with Egypt. And in the Jamaican culture, we would have already said that Egypt was a rude and out of her child, she would have got checked. But you don't do that. You never check her on her bullshit. And that's the issue that we have. You never tell her that, even though she may be hurt and she's upset about something, the way she goes about it isn't right. And because you don't check her, she on some bullshit. Pep admits, because I was on the road a lot, because I wasn't around a lot when she was younger, I do enable her a lot now. I'm an enabler. And, I do that to make up for not being around. But I don't want Egypt to be dependent upon, people that much anymore. So I need to talk to Egypt. So basically, Pep, TT, and Maureen make up. And I'm like, at least Pep said out her own mouth, she know that she enables Egypt. And that's why Egypt be on some bullshit. And she knows her fault that Egypt is how she is. But I'm like, whatever. Eric, who wants to have an event for his father, I'm like, sir, I don't care. He keeps bringing up how because of the documentary that was out, he wants people to not focus on how his dad died. He wants them to focus on how he lived. So he wants to have like a celebration for him. It's fine. We seen 4 of the 5 members of Bone Thugs and Harmony there too. Sequoia then got there for no reason. I was like, why is she here? I never get why Sequoia or even Eric be around her for that matter. But Sequoia and Eric talk. And they both bring up how, TT wedding happened and how he was not invited to the wedding. And Eric fixed his mouth to say, well, I'm friends with Sean. You know what I'm saying? I'm really good friends with Sean. But maybe it was TT who did not want me at the wedding because me and TT used to flirt with each other before we both got married. And so who wants, someone who was a potential person at their wedding? I'm looking like, Eric, if you think TT was planning her wedding with you in mind of not being there, you're stupid. I was like, he sounded so stupid saying it was probably TT who did not want him there because he could have been her husband. I was like, sir, shut up, okay? You sound dumb. You weren't invited because y'all not that close. I'm gonna leave it at that. And also, it may have been because of COVID stuff. But anyway, she wasn't doing it to because she may want you. She didn't want to look over her shoulder and see you there. Shut up, sir. And when Sequoia brings up how for her she's trying to deal with, these ragamuffins, okay, who came to her like some bullies at his pool party. And it's like talking about Creed and Savannah. And while I feel like their antics were crazy, I also feel like Sequoia came at Denise like that at the event last season. So I am not here for Sequoia and this whole innocent. I didn't do shit. I don't get why. I don't get why they coming at me. It's like because you was on bullshit when they all first met you, and some of them are still holding on to that. Now Savannah is a rude little child, true indeed, but Sequoia, you ain't no victim. And they wasn't bullying you, so leave me fucking be. Okay, you get some of my goddamn nerves. We do see, TT and Pep, and also Maureen at the grandma, which is Pep and Maureen's mama, who turned 94 at the party in Florida. Egypt was there via video because she was not vaccinated. Chris brings Brianna, okay, with a surprise TT, because he's like, so y'all really dating, huh? Y'all really, you smiling, Brianna? You all smiles or whatever? And so Chris and Brianna want us to believe they are a full-fledged couple. Okay, so much so that he's met her grandparents, and now she has met, his family, whatever, and now she is at a party for the family and whatever. I'm like, Lord Jesus. So Chris then has, Brianna and Pep to talk because they've been beefed out. Even though the beef is not a real beef. And when they talk, Brianna just says how look. You know what I'm saying? I've always wanted the best for each of. I think a lot of things that happen were just, miscommunications or whatever. But I've always cared about Egypt, and I really wanted the best for her. I always felt like Sam was like a temporary guy. I didn't think that she would really, be with him or whatever. And yeah, I would make jokes and comments that was probably, uncalled for whatever. But again, I didn't think nothing about it. That's on me. Pep didn't really say much either about it. It's how she maybe agreed that it was more of a misunderstanding between them and not no real issue. And I'm like, I just can't. So now they're all gonna be family. Because when Pep said y'all having sex, I need to know, how serious y'all are, like y'all doing it. And I was like, that is so nasty, but whatever. And then, Chris again, we are all the way, we are 100% in. And I'm like, this man then weaseled his way into Brianna's life, and I don't know what's going on. And now he on the show. So that was it. And that was the whole show. Again, I did all three in one fell swoop. I am done for the day. Okay, I will see y'all tomorrow for what's tomorrow? Love to Lock Up and also Candy Show. But again, gotta go. Love you all. Peace.